welcome to our unboxing for the month of July for Satin and Starlight. Christopher said that he didn't think Grace has ever looked better.
When we got this sample back, I was like, this might be the best she's ever looked.
Right, that's what he said.
I don't know, at first I was like, we had some fabulous help from Dee designing this fashion with us, and at first I was afraid it would be too simple, because it's a beautiful, sort of like Marilyn Monroe naked gown, like it's just, the outfit is Marilyn Monroe, right? And it fits Grace so well that it really evokes that, and I thought, well, it's gotta come back and it's gotta be really good, and then it blew me away, and it was this enormous white trailing fur cape in this beautiful satin dress. I mean, she just looks extraordinary.
It is extraordinary. We're going to put some pictures on the screen that Christopher took and Diana edited. She did such a beautiful job editing these photos. But this dress, it is simple, but the way that it's cut is not simple. We had to do 2 different edits, and Ruby Red Galleria made this. You have to be a skilled artisan to create this and to get it right.
And to do it well.
And so we had to go back and forth twice to get this the way that it is.
Right.
And it is so beautiful. The way that the gown is cut, and then of course the huge, wonderful coat that is so starlet of the 1930s.
Exactly.
It is exactly what it needs to be. And again, thank you to Dee for designing this one for us. It's fabulous.
It's a hard era to do. I mean, as everyone, subscribed and watching knows, we've been on a journey through many decades and through many sort of eras of fashion. And the 30s is a hard one because, it doesn't take a lot of, scholarly digging to remember or to realize what that era was for many people globally. And in this country we had the Depression, and there were far fewer means of meeting needs than usual. And I think culturally at large we really reached for movie stars and Hollywood for dreams and visions of the future and dreams and visions of hope, and glamour really brought, I think, a lot of comfort to pop culture. So I thought for the 30s it had to be glamorous, and so I mean,
it is.
What gets more glamour than like starlit publicity shot of satin and fur,
I think so too, and I'm glad that we leaned into that, because this is a lot more fun than to put out, and I do like putting out historically accurate things, so there's a lot of ways that we can go with all of our fashions. So when we put out something that is representative of, and we have Walker Paul in our video today, that is representative of a decade, it is just one small glimpse into the fashion of that decade. It is not. And you know that, but we leaned into glamour for this one.
And that's what dolls are about, right? Is they allow you to be playing with the most fun version of something if you'd like to.
Right.
They can do whatever they want.
So your box comes with a plethora of wonderful printables and information. Diana Vining went crazy this month. I gave her several things, including our 1930s fashion guide, which is available for free download in the Grace Boutique. But she also went the extra mile and created 2 more crafts for you in addition to the letters, and so she just did an amazing job. But the mid-1930s was a fascinating time in fashion. While much of the world was facing the hardships of the Great Depression, Hollywood offered audiences an escape into a world of elegance, romance, and possibility. Movie theaters became places of dreams where dazzling stars appeared in shimmering satin gowns, sparkling jewelry, and magnificent evening coats that inspired millions of women across America. So this goes into it. It especially does talk about the bias cut, which was very indicative of the 1930s. It's one of my favorite elements of fashion for the 1930s. It is very hard to do in fashion.
Yeah.
And this is a really fun download, but your outfit comes like this. We can barely fit it inside the box. I'm just going to show it to you inside the plastic that it comes in, but look at this.
Yeah.
It is, we haven't actually put one in the box, but it's going to be very difficult to get.
Fit.
Yeah, it's just, this is fully lined, and again, for the wonderful gown, we had to make sure that because we wanted it to look like a gown and not like a nightie.
Yeah, right.
And so we had to go back and forth on that a couple of times.
Well, and part of the appeal for a garment like this is that you have,
Oh, Walker
Yes, you do.
Paul, angel.
Is that you have a this fashion, if you wanted it to be, is so glamorous that it almost could be publicity shot lingerie.
Yeah.
It's the sort of thing that Jean Harlow or Greta Garbo or Joan Crawford really would be seen. Betty Davis absolutely would wear this. It's the vision of like her just rolling out of bed and she just so happens to be wearing fur. That level of glamour, you know, is what we're evoking. It kind of was lingerie, but it's meant to be a beautifully draped, on the bias, gorgeous dress with darts and tapers where they're supposed to be.
I really love what Christopher had to say, but also Walker Paul burped while he was saying that, and that's probably why he's been a little bit fussy in our video.
Yeah.
So thank you for that, Christopher, and I'm really glad you got a burp out of Mr. Walker Paul because he's been a little fussers.
Yes.
His dad might come down so we can finish off the video.
Hi, Smoochie. Are you like the
We
rules
got a lot to say in this one. We have
Yeah.
our Lacy, we have add-on stuff, we've got a lot of really fun things, and our wonderful crafts and everything that comes inside the box. But Walker Paul, by the time this airs, is 16 weeks old. So
Would you believe it?
4 whole months.
Would you believe it?
4
That's
whole
you.
months, dude.
Whee!
We made it. Did we make it 4 whole months?
Congratulations, you're so old.
Yeah, he eats a lot. He's just doing really well, reaching all of his milestones. He's a very smiley baby.
Yeah.
And I'm really thankful I had him and proud that I was able to have a baby at 40 years old and run this shop. And I have a lot of help from wonderful people like Christopher and Paul. Wonderful. There's no way I could be doing this alone. And I don't. I have a wonderful village. And he's a very, very loved little person.
We're a team, huh?
Look at those toes.
The cutest
Oh,
toes.
those toes.
The cutest toe.
Give us a comment or an emoji or raise your hand if you just love baby toes. I love baby toes.
Brand new babies.
The tiniest little nails, aren't they? They're such a treat.
Yeah.
They are, even though it's hard, but you know, and we do things a lot slower on the days that we have Walker Paul, and that's with children, that's how it's supposed to be. Maybe
Yeah.
that's the point, is that we slow down
Just a little bit.
and we do our thing. Okay, well, Walker Paul is with Derek now, and we can continue peacefully, although
Thank you,
I know
Derek.
everyone wants to see him, and that's why we put him in the video, because he's our special shop buddy,
Yeah.
but it's also hard to do both. And
Yeah.
so that's why it takes a village.
Lots of work.
But back to the fashion. So one thing that I wanted to touch on is that, which you can see in Christopher's wonderful display. Now on Thursday and Friday afternoon, the glue gun came out. Christopher went to the thrift store and found some wonderful things, and the rhinestones came out. And
Sure.
when all that stuff starts happening, I know it's going to be really fun. And I really love the display. It is really great.
Thank you.
You got this at the thrift store?
I did.
It's fun.
I thought it was kind of goofy. I almost didn't get it because it's very, you know, sort of model house staged, you know, sort of a centerpiece. But I thought it was fun, and I was hoping for something that felt very sort of Ziegfeld in its presentation. And I realized that, you know, maybe the golden era of Ziegfeld was the 20s, but there's so much of that really carried over into the 30s, and I thought for something as lavish as this gown, with the fur and the shape and how slinky it is, it really made sense to sort of stage it as a publicity shot, as a sort of, you know, Ziegfeld stage set. So that's sort of what I was after.
It's exactly what it feels like, and I think it's a lot of fun.
Thank you.
And if you look closely here, you can see our wonderful Grace, our Passion Grace is staged, but also Lacy is staged, and I
That's
believe
right.
this is After Party Lacy, who is so fabulous.
With that finger wave and the bang,
It's everything.
Perfect.
It is perfect. How is the fit on Lacy? From here, it looks absolutely stunning.
Yeah, I mean, their bodies are so similar. For those of you who don't know, Lacy is a little bit bustier and a little bit more tapered at the waist. She has a slightly more dramatic silhouette in the torso, but the gown is done in such a way, very smartly I might add, that with ruby red, the straps have hook and eye closures at the back where the gown meets at the small of her back. So a really easy application. You can take those straps that come around the shoulders out of that hook and eye and in, and easy application. That said, the way that it's shaped allows it to sort of really drape and slink very sort of sensually. So while it is fitted for Grace's torso and might be a little bit roomier on Lacy, it fits beautifully.
Yeah.
And it does allow also, if you'd like, for something that's almost like cap sleeve off the shoulder placement for those beautiful gold straps. Those are really lovely.
They are lovely, and that was one of the parts that we had to redo, and I am so glad that we did. So
Yeah.
when you see something, when it gets to box form, that's when we approve it. It's like uncorking a bottle.
It really does feel that way.
It does feel that way because
Yeah.
we can finally say, cha-ching, we've made it, let's do it.
Yeah.
And the original straps on this were more of a peach color, and we sent it back, and we
Yeah.
wanted it to be gold, and we changed the
shiny.
bust to and shiny. So
Yeah.
and then the coat they got on the first pull, it is fabulous.
Yeah.
It is so fun.
This beautiful, huge, I
Yeah.
mean, you can wear the sort of lapel of this cape. You can have it sort of up and around her neck, almost as if she were, posing
Right.
for a
On the red
glamour
carpet.
shot.
Yeah.
But it also really drapes so nicely just above the elbow and gives a really lovely sort of, huge silhouette of cascading fur. And the train really takes up the space of a swimming pool. It's just huge.
It's large.
Yeah.
It's large and wonderful, and that's what we wanted it to be. And we have also staged this with some of Robert Tonner's classic pieces, which I think these dolls would look fabulous.
I mean, what is an homage to the 30s without Joan Crawford and Betty Davis, right?
Right.
There are so many stars like Jean Harlow that really deserve their sort of flowers for a moment like this. I could really rail on about, starlets of the 30s. I think, the peak of the silver screen sort of era of Hollywood really gave us so many incomparable stars. Joan and Betty being maybe the very cream of the crop for considering the lineup, but many of you know I have a huge soft spot for Judy Garland, and she really came to life on the scene in the 30s, as did many countless stars. Marlene Dietrich is a perfect example. But I will spare all of you, just trivia facts on my end. But I think it's important to homage how much of Robert's catalog really is so relevant and important and still so cherished when we put out something like this, in the way that we do both with the subscription, routinely making something and offering something that you can return to and revisit and pull out of your wardrobe and cherish. I hope that also we can encourage that relationship with your dolls. There's not always an opportunity to have your entire collection out at one time, and sometimes we go through cycles where you put some away to make room for others, and you do a little musical chairs. This might be a good one if you have any of, Robert's beautiful starlets, to bring them out of your collection and really enjoy with this.
And put up like a more mini display, a curated display within your collection. A subscription in general really invites you to try something new. So if what you focus on is not this is going to be fun because it's different. It pulls you out of your shell and it turns on a part of your brain that says, maybe. And then if you're lucky or unlucky, I don't know how, it could go both ways, but then sometimes you go down a rabbit hole.
Sure. Oh,
and you're
my favorite thing.
And then it's like, oh, well, now I can't get enough of this. I want to have more of this style. But we always put something in a subscription box that we know that it is going to, for the masses, because this goes out to hundreds of people.
Yeah.
We know that 98% of you are going to absolutely love it. And how could you not with something that is so fun and fabulous?
Right.
But we're also on a journey of learning, and that is one of my favorite. Yeah, and trying and enjoying new things, which is one of my favorite parts of the subscription. So Diana did a illustration of Grace kind of coming out of her bedroom there, ready to go.
That. Very boudoir, very dressing room. Again, these all really feel like publicity shots. I mean, there's so many images of Joan Crawford in something like this. Diana did a fabulous job. Excellent work, Diana. She looks great.
Yeah. As soon as we shared the photos and everything, Diana absolutely knew the assignment and she went crazy on it, and she did such a good job.
Yeah.
So our paper doll of the month, again, I love the underwear. I love the way that she did the eyebrows. So Christopher, how do you feel about the very thin eyebrows?
I think we're actually in the middle of a little renaissance for skinny brows. I think the large consensus is like, we learned our lesson and never again. But fashion and history repeats itself, right? The 20s in some way sort of pioneered that eyebrow as we know it now, though it was not necessarily the first time that was a cultural touchstone. But the 20s really did create sort of theatrical makeup that would sort of be revisited again in like the 70s and 80s. The 70s had very nice, thin, tailored brows. I think of like Kevin Aquan, tweezing out brows to a single line. And I think actually we're sort of, 50 years after that point, we're kind of revisiting the skinny brow again. And I don't mind it. Like, I think
It depends.
it depends on people's faces.
Right.
Here's the thing. I'm against prescriptivism. Like, if it works for your face, if it's
Right.
flattering for your face
Right.
and it's good for you, I mean, there's something fun and, smart maybe about participating in trends on occasion
Right.
or whatever. But ultimately, if you look good and you feel good, if you feel confident and you're flattered, then what difference does it make? You
Right.
know?
And I remember when Whoopi Goldberg just shaved hers off because
Yeah.
she was just sick of eyebrows in general. She
Yeah.
was like, I'm just sick of having to deal with these, and she just shaved them off.
Yeah.
And that didn't necessarily look better. Eyebrows are a whole thing.
They frame
As we
your
all
whole
know.
face.
Yeah, they're very important.
They can do so much for
Yeah.
structuring or unstructuring your face.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So, but in Diana's wonderful paper doll, they are the very thin Hollywood star type ones.
They're beautiful.
And I think it's fun. And then she illustrated the paper doll just perfectly. So we've got Satin and Starlight, and it's very Art Deco and very, very, very fun.
Beautiful.
Another thing Diana did was a 1930s style hat craft.
Genius idea. The hat was a huge element of glamour and of movie stars in particular, but it was also, everybody wore hats. If you were going out of the house, almost every occasion called for a hat of a different severity or variety. And this is a really, really great way to create a perfectly in time little sort of almost cloche hat for her with paper. So you can have what sort of looks like a Pac-Man, very smartly crafted here to give you a good taper, and then a bow that you can just put together and pin or glue. And then she also gave you some really lovely little sort of brooch rhinestone elements that you can, garnish as you please. But a really lovely little situation that gives you an option for visualizing your outcome here with that illustration in the corner.
I love it. We put these in the box in 5x7. So when you download them on the website, they are bigger and you have to scale those to size. But if you're having them professionally printed, we print them in 5x7. So that's what you would want. Diana also did an all dolled up for the theater. So we've got
So
Grace
cute.
Marie Fitzpatrick handprints in the Hollywood Walk of Fame, which is so fun.
Love that.
And then she put coins and movie tickets and eyeshadow and a little bit of blush. It's all very 30s, what you'd have in your purse if you were going to the theater.
Oh, hey guys, it's Diana Vining. I'm just popping in real quick because I just wanted to quickly talk to you about this month's Grace Crafts. So most of it is pretty self-explanatory. We have little miniature makeup compacts and a little Camay bar of soap and a cement paver, like with her handprints, like they would have had in front of the Grauman's Chinese Theater. And then I thought this tiny, tiny quarter was so cute. And the reason the quarter is there is because in 1935, it would have bought you a ticket to the movies. Can you imagine? Those are pretty self-explanatory, but what I want to talk to you about is this nifty little 1930s style hat. It's being modeled here by Grace and by Roxy Hart, which is also a Robert Tonner doll from several years ago, which I have and just love her. Have loved her for years, and they're actually sharing Roxy's outfit, which also has kind of like that glamorous 1930s look that we're exploring this month. But I wanted to talk to you about this hat. So this hat is actually modeled after a 1930s hat that I saw in an old catalog page. So I tried to recreate it using paper, of course, for our crafts, but you can use it as a template to make one out of felt also. I just kind of wanted to go over how to put this together, because you'll get the craft card and you'll get these weird shapes and say, how do I put that together? So I'm just going to quickly show you, but I thought it would be so funny and silly and interesting to try to do it life size for me. So I enlarged the pattern and cut out my own pieces using some fancy paper. And this way we can kind of like walk through it together and assemble a hat together. So first you're going to take this part, which is the bow, and what you're going to do is these two pinched parts are going to meet at the back of the bow. Just kind of fold it in, leave this nice and curved for the bow, and you're going to tape it there in the center. And same thing on the other side, kind of bend it in. They meet in the center just like that. and tape it. You're almost there. The other piece right here. This wraps around the center of the bow like that. And you're going to secure that in the back as well. So that's what it looks like in the front. And in the back, put another piece of tape. Boom, it's a bow. So we're going to set that aside. This part I like to think of as the Pac-Man. This is the main hat part. And basically, the way I'm going to describe this is you're going to close Pac-Man's mouth. So you're going to bring these two edges and bring them together, and it makes kind of a cone shape. And just secure that with tape. So we join the two parts together. I kind of folded this ahead of time, but you can kind of roll one side up like that, because a lot of the hats kind of had one side turned up in the 30s. I saw that, a lot in a lot of the hats that I was looking at. And then I'm going to take my bow and cover the seam with the bow. So we're just going to tape that in place. I'm going to roll up my piece of tape, I'll put it right on the seam, on the hat, and stick the bow on. And there you have your hat with a bow on it. So back in the 1930s, women would have put this hat on, kept it on with a hat pin or bobby pins or something like that, which you can do with your doll. I also have an extra little, you can decorate these too. So this would make a really fun party hat, or even like a prop, like if you're having some kind of a luncheon and you want like a hat kind of theme. This is like really fun. Like I said, you could stick it on with a hat pin, a bobby pin or something. But I'm going to attempt, I don't know if this is going to work. I would attempt on a doll for short term. I wouldn't leave tape on a doll for very long. I've done it to dolls. Will it work on myself? Let's find out. So I like the bow on the side and the folded part kind of on the side. They always kind of wear their hats on the side of their head like this. So yeah, there's a 1930s hat. Like I said, this is just like a fun thing. And now you saw it on a larger scale, kind of how to assemble it. And it's just really fun. And it would make a cute decoration. You can maybe even make a whole row of them, put them on garlands. How cute would that be? That's just my 2 cents on some of the fun that you could have with this month's craft cards. I hope you enjoy that. And I hope you come up with some fun stuff. And if you make one for yourself, don't be shy. Post a picture of yourself wearing your paper 1930s hat. Till then, toodles.
So isn't that so much fun?
So cute.
I love, love, love all the things that our wonderful Diana Vining comes up with. She recently just did an open house for a doll shop in New York, and they just were so enchanted by her and all of her wonderful ideas and what she does to bring the subscriptions to life.
Who couldn't be enchanted by Diana?
Well deserved.
Yeah, congratulations.
Congratulations, Diana. So Jean Harlow is our starlet that Grace talks to in her letters, in her historical letters, and I love this. It's both happy, sad, because Jean Harlow passed away in the late 30s. So this was at the height of her career.
Yeah.
And this was a couple years before that. So I can't speak for her, but it seems like at this point in 1936, she was in a happy place. But man, she had a lot of ups and downs, but we love her.
The quintessential star of the 30s. I think she really is, among so many names, the one that really stands out as the 30s main star, in maybe no small part because of her untimely death.
Yeah.
Her contemporaries, Marlena and Joan and Betty, would go on to have careers that we now think of maybe more as stars of the 40s or even the 60s, depending. And Jean wasn't given that luxury, but she was a standout performer and such a captivating presence. I mean, even just photos of her are so commanding and so magnetic. They really knew how to capture her essence, and so I think she's a perfect fit to feature for this month's box.
I think so too. So Grace says, and again, I always have to say this because this is a lot of work. Diana Vining hand writes these. This is her handwriting.
Yeah.
And I love that. I think that is such a personal, warm touch. So
It adds so much
It
to
adds so much to it. So it says, Dear Miss Harlow, although we have never met, I have always long admired your elegance. Whenever I see one of your films, I cannot help but wonder how much beautiful fashions can exist during such difficult times. Many families are facing hardships, yet movie theaters are filled with people eager to escape into another world, if only for an evening. Do you believe fashion and beauty have an important purpose during times like these? As someone who treasures both history and beautiful clothing, I would love to hear your thoughts. With admiration, Grace Marie Fitzpatrick. And she says, Dear Miss Fitzpatrick, thank you for your lovely letter. I believe beauty has never been more important than during these difficult times. Glamour isn't simply about beautiful gowns. It gives people something to dream about. For a few precious moments, audience can step into a world filled with hope, elegance, and possibility. One day these difficult years will be behind us, but I hope people will always remember that beauty has the power to lift the spirit. Never lose your appreciation for beautiful things. They remind us that brighter days are always ahead. Warmly, Jean Harlow.
It's so true.
Isn't it so
That's
true?
Beautifully written, Diana, thank you. I'm reminded of a sentiment that is very much kind of reflective of my own relationship to fashion, and that is, it of course is a means of expression, but sometimes when it's necessary, it can function as armor. And I think if you're in the privileged position to be able to have something like a fur coat this way, I think it does sort of behave as a sort of sense of fortitude and of strength when things do feel bleak and when things do feel challenging in sort of unforeseen ways. Fashion is an exceptional vehicle for communication without saying anything, and a way to connect with people that I think, from one glamorous soul to another who can maybe see each other out in the wild, it's almost like a nod of understanding.
Yeah.
It's important. Beauty is important. Beauty is not frivolous. I think everything should be pleasant. Everything should be beautiful. It can't be, of course, but we should be striving for that always.
Always. I was going into the bank the other day, and two of the ladies that worked at the bank were coming out, and they just looked so beautiful, just in their outfit for work, but their hair and their makeup was done, and it reminded me of a time, and I looked fine, but it reminded me of a time when I used to come to work with my hair, and I still look beautiful. I know I do. But it was inspirational to me. And I said to those ladies, I just stopped them in the doorway, and I said, you two look so beautiful. And they were just going out to Walgreens to get a coffee.
Sure.
But they looked so beautiful. And I know that they felt better about their work day. And we wear comfortable things. We don't always wear makeup to work.
Sure.
But when we do, it does feel good.
It helps, I think.
Yeah.
I wish that we had a culture where more people felt access to a way of life in their expression that made them feel not only confident, but really beautiful. I think, feminine people are given access in a different way and through sort of oppressive structures for wearing makeup and feeling empowered and for wearing beautiful clothing that really makes you feel exceptional. And through expression that way, you kind of stand taller and feel stronger. And there are some people that I think would be really liberated by the experience of feeling confident and beautiful and taller through a very simple manipulation of something like a nice jacket or a really flattering shade of lip gloss or something.
Yeah, I was going to say great lipstick or the right haircut.
Yeah.
It's amazing what a couple of tweaks can do, or your eyebrows looking better. It's important, but we also experience that through our dolls.
Completely.
That's one of the biggest ways that we do express ourselves, is through our dolls and what they are wearing and what they are doing. And we know what we like when we see a doll.
Right.
And it looks oftentimes like something you wore in the past or like what you would have worn.
Sure.
And that's a lot of fun.
What you wish you could wear.
What you wish you could wear.
I don't mean to make it sound simple, as if, enhancing your appearance is something easy to do, because it isn't always.
No.
And if there is a barrier that inhibits you from experiencing that the way that you would like to or wish you could. The beauty of dolls is they really do give you access to projection and empathy and sharing in a love for something in a communal way, but it's also very personal. Doll collecting can be incredibly intimate, and if you maybe feel an absence or a lack of glamour in your life, I think this is really the avenue for maybe channeling what that might feel like for you. What would glamour feel like for you if you felt like you had more access to it? Maybe you do. Maybe through
I
Grace
love that.
you do.
Well, and not to sound like a complete salesman right now, but we do have extra boxes, and that, right? We do have extra boxes. So
Yeah.
if you are needing a little bit of glamour, we very rarely have extra boxes in the Grace subscription.
That's true.
But with this one, we were able to get 100 extra boxes just in the nick of time.
Yeah.
So if you want one of these, you can have it, and that's fun. And we do have some add-on shoes. But before we get into the add-on shoes and our Lacy of the month, we need to talk about our pattern of the month from Tamara Casey, which is just beautiful. It's called Unmatched Glamour. So Unmatched Glamour is fabulous, but I love the bias cut. Here we go, Christopher. You can scroll, see what you
that's
think, but look at that.
stunning.
Isn't that great?
So beautiful. Yeah, she did the back is so
The back
pretty.
is stunning.
Wow.
Absolutely
Oh,
stunning.
Tamara,
and
of
if you're
course, you did a great job.
also, I want to make sure before anything, because I know she might say this in her video, but Tamara is doing her Christmas in July sale.
Yes.
And on her website, every single day it rotates new $5 patterns that are available, and it's fresh every day.
Wow.
So every day there's a new one. So make sure to look. But we have Tamara Casey in studio with us in her own sewing studio to tell us all about Unmatched Glamour. Come on in, Tamara.
Club Grace, welcome back. I'm happy to be with you again to reveal the July pattern of the month. For this reveal, our attention is turned to the 1930s biased cut dress. This design revolutionized women's fashion by showcasing graceful movement and elegant body skimming silhouettes. Popularized by many designers of the time, the bias cut technique involves cutting fabric diagonally across the grain, allowing it to drape naturally over the body's curves without heavy tailoring. The result was a sophisticated look featuring fluid lines, soft necklines, and sweeping skirts that moved beautifully with every step. Timeless. The bias cut dress became an enduring symbol of the era and continues to inspire modern fashion today. The new Club Grace pattern, Unmatched Glamour, is inspired by this fashion history and captures the effortless sophistication of old Hollywood glamour. The style features a softly draped V neckline, delicate shoulder straps, and a dramatic low-cut back that beautifully echoes the era's iconic evening fashions. The distinctive angular seams that separate the bodice from the skirt add some architectural interest while still maintaining the beautiful drape of the bias cut. My favorite feature of this particular design is the back. Elegant ruching accentuates the curves over the hips and seat, adding texture, dimension, and a flattering fit before flowing into a dramatic flared skirt with graceful movement from every angle. The ensemble wouldn't be complete without a luxurious faux fur to create the perfect element of vintage glamour, perfect for a soiree or a grand ball. This pattern makes up beautifully in silk and satin fabrics, so I encourage you to find your favorite color and create your own one-of-a-kind Unmatched Glamour ensemble. I hope you enjoy the pattern of the month, and as always, I can't wait to see what you make.
Thank you so much, Tamara Casey of Designs by Jude. We are excited to see you in October, and we just love everything that you do. And so I hope you're having a great Christmas in July sale, and thank you so much. So we do have some fun shopping opportunities for you this month. We do have the extra boxes of the month. We have 2 pairs of shoes. We have a Lacy, and we have a Regency gown. It was not here in time for our box a couple of months ago, but it's here now.
We have it today.
We have it today.
So we have some shoes for you to shop in the boutique that are absolutely perfect for this box. A really gorgeous little gold sandal. Some of my favorite shoes we've made in some time for Grace. They're very simple. They have a gorgeous little ankle strap and a little button detail on the toe. Gorgeous little laser cut details on the sides. Beautiful stitching. Beautiful shade of gold. Sometimes gold comes out kind of green, and these are really, really lovely. And a perfect situation for this. And then we also have a closed toe sort of pump as well. Another T-strap ankle situation, beautiful little laminated glitter toe and matching detail at the back with a beautiful gold heel. These are easy peasy. They wear as many of our shoes do. You can see about keeping the buckle intact and just extending the strap as far as it'll go before unbuckling it. I think you're still better off undoing it and putting it back in. You know, they buckle easily enough. I had no trouble putting these ones on. Really gorgeous little shoe situation, and I think the sort of champagne gold is flattering. You can wear these with so many different fashions, but really does bring out the different colors of this fashion so nicely.
Yeah, these ones are great. So
cute.
Yep, we've got plenty of pairs too. I know it's frustrating when we run out of shoes quickly, and we are learning and making sure that we are balancing quantities with demand and trying really hard in that arena. So thank you very much for all of your understanding. And if you didn't get something, believe me, we feel for you, and we are trying very hard to make it better. That's what we're trying.
Thanks for your patience.
Yeah, thank you for your patience. So let's talk about our Regency gown, and then we'll bring in our beautiful Lacy from New York Fashion Week. So this was supposed to be the add-on for our Regency gown. And I think this is airy and pretty.
It's so beautiful.
Yeah, they did a great, this was made by Ruby Red Galleria.
This feels like a Regency era Cinderella to me. She looks just so beautiful in this. I love it on this doll with that hair. They did a fabulous job with the construction. The entire torso and bodice really sits where it's supposed to, which is so challenging. And then you've got this really stunning sort of pale sky blue faux satin and a fabulous lace overlay skirt, matching sleeve, and a beautiful glove, a fingered glove again. And I showed this here on our white shoes that we did a few months ago. These are beautiful, beautiful gowns that feel like you really could put them into a storybook. I mean, I think the box fashion that we did is so stunning as a museum piece. This really does feel like something you would evoke through storytelling. So romantic, so magical, very airy, very flowy, and really does get some really good movement if you wanted to stage this with a fan or with some manipulation.
It's very Pride and Prejudice. Like I expect my gentleman caller to be climbing up the hill to come and profess his love, and I just happen to be out into a meadow wearing this and feeling just so light and airy and just in perfect form. Yeah. It's a fun one. So we have 200 of those available in the Grace Boutique.
Romantic.
And we also will be having more of the shoes, those white shoes that we had a few months ago. We are restocking some of those with our wonderful Facets Boutique and Marcia Friend. She works really hard for us, but her factory only allows us a certain amount of shoes per month, and she does produce a lot for us. So thank you, Marcia. So she's working on those. But our last fun thing that we have this month is our Lacie Churchill New York Fashion Week.
We have another
so let's chat.
Lacy reveal.
I know, it's our second to last one. I'm going to be Robert is going to do more Lacies, but not this year. So we have this one and the next one. Oh, and then we also have a surprise that's coming at some point this week that has to do with something that's happening soon.
How specific?
I know, right? So we're gonna like this. You'll see that soon too. I know. Isn't that okay? But anyway, New York Fashion Week Lacy. She
Lacy.
almost feels like a gift set with all the things that she comes with, which is so fun.
So this is a very well decked out set. You have a gorgeous little faux Birkin, another pair of sunglasses in the same shape as the last release. We have boots and tights and this gorgeous silky trench coat. It comes well fashioned. You have loops on the side of the jacket and real hardware that opens that belt to reveal the double-breasted buttons, and that really does give you a beautiful cinched silhouette, something with lots of texture. That comes undone there, and then you've got 3 snaps behind those buttons and this beautiful t-shirt and this like seafoam electric green metallic tinsel skirt. So fun, high-waisted, pencil shape with a slit in the back, giving her a little bit more mobility. You can see in the photos that we displayed that she's got a really lovely sort of rolled hem on the t-shirt sleeve. You can wear this lots of ways, and that lining in the jacket is so fun. Lovely little sparrow pattern. She's gorgeous. I love the face. I love the hair. She's got got some really sort of subtle beachy blonde waves.
And this is the way that this is how it comes in the box too.
Yeah.
I want to make sure that everyone knows that, because in the pamphlet it is smooth because it's pulled behind her hair.
Yeah, it
or her
looks
back.
straight, but it really, what the photo crops off at for that is just about the shoulder.
Right.
So you can see each one will be a little different, but you've got some nice sort of loose waves. And what I really love about this is the color palette. You've got that sort of crazy bright green in the skirt, really punchy, really fun, really energetic, great pairing with a cherry red bag. She's got a neutral lip, a neutral manicure, sort of olive colored eyes, and I love these gorgeous little tiny stud rhinestone earrings. Beautiful scale. She's gorgeous.
She's gorgeous, and she is only $225, which is a very good price for a doll of this quality and all of the wonderful things that she comes with. Both Robert and VDC work very hard to keep our prices as reasonable as possible, because we want to keep selling to you and we want you to keep buying and to feel good about that and not have it be as big of a stretch. So we try really hard to do that, and thank you for supporting us by continually buying our products all of the time. We appreciate you so much. But this is a fun one. This bag it's got a lot of pockets and a lot of accessories and a key and just all kinds of fun stuff. So this is limited to 145. Robert kept 5 for his archive and for his team, and so that's not very many. And I think Lacie, this particular Lacie sculpt is one of the most beautiful sculpts Robert has ever done.
Ever. I think she's so stunning. And particularly this doll, this is a rooted doll, by the way, and so her with sort of a neutral palette, with this sculpt, with this hair, she could wear anything. Right. You guys, this is like such a standard, essential sort of doll to have for any collection. If you're trying to collect Lacie, she feels like maybe a really good first one for just getting a basic doll that you can really put in any garment. She's very versatile and really, really gorgeous. We
have a Lacie subscription in the works, so we are going to be debuting that next year, which is going to be a lot of fun. And that, we don't know how quite long it's going to be, but it has been really great to focus on Lacie fashion. So we see something, we're like, oh, that's Lacie. Yeah. And that's been a lot of the fun with the yin and yang of Grace and just exploring all different types of wonderful clothes. But Dean Brazil has actually been spearheading a lot of the Lacie stuff, because he combs, he takes time and he combs what is on the 2027 runways and draws inspiration from that. So it is like cutting edge, brand new, modern fashion, which is what Lacie would be buying. She would be at Neiman Marcus, she would be at Saks Fifth Avenue, she would have a personal shopper from St. John that was presenting her with the things from the 2027 runways. Completely. Dee is so good about sort of forecasting trends, but also is so passionate about what's happening right now. And as a trendy, capable, empowered, confident woman of today, Lacie is wearing today's fashions. So stay tuned, because there will be some things that feel like Grace could easily and happily wear them, but maybe they are done specifically with Lacie in mind, given her character. Right. We want to create garments that it's really fun when they're interchangeable. This fits this person, that fits that person. But it's also really fun when you are a Lacie collector, a Grace collector, an Anne collector, an Elowen collector, to have something made specifically for that world. For that world. So we have a lot of wonderful things coming up for all of our worlds of dolls. And our factory's great. So thank you to our factory if you're watching. Which, thank you all of you. Yeah, thank you all of you. We appreciate you so much. But this was a fun month. I can't wait to see what people think when they get their boxes. I'm excited. I think this is going to be such a good one. I mean, I can already see people sort of stretching her out on a chaise, laying on top of the cape, right? Like almost as if it's like a fur rug or something. This as an accessory serves 15 uses already. It's a very, versatile piece for your collection. And the dress as well really does give you so much opportunity for imagining and reimagining and playing with accessorizing and mixing and matching. And I think this with that little papercraft hat gives you a really fabulous vision of Grace as sort of a publicity shot, starlet of the 20s, of the 30s, of the 40s. This really does sort of transcend a couple of years. And I think the vignettes are going to be really special. I can already see the metallic elements and the sort of big, great scale, scenic
huge film set sort of vignettes people are going to put together. I'm excited.
Have a lot of fun with this one, and we love you so much, and thank you for being a part of our journey, and thank you for collecting along with VDC, and we appreciate you very much, and thank you to our entire team who made this possible, and we'll see you on the next one.
Bye.
Bye.